Hey, welcome to Roaming Minds. I'm Carlos.
I'm AJ, and here we talk about the thoughts that kept us out of all the really good schools. You know, those quiet spirals, the questions that keep you up at night, and the trials and tribulations that we all face as human beings.
This show is part reflection, part reminder. We're not broken, we're on a journey of growth. Please note that this conversation should not be taken as medical or professional advice. See the link in the description below if you require immediate help.
Every week, we unpack what it means to choose joy. Not the loud version that Karen is peddling, but the quiet, hard-earned kind that comes from finally feeling like yourself again.
Let's keep this conversation going. Join us on Discord or connect to a peer through Kindred. Let's get into it.
Right, and we're back for another exciting episode of Who the Fuck's Listening Anyway?
No, that was horrible. Today is kind of going, it's definitely a continuation. It's going to build off of the ideas that we discussed last week, the ideas that we've been discussing over the past month-ish. Yeah. But our tone is going to shift. Rather than explanation, we're really going to get down into the more design-oriented aspects of things. How is it that we can design our lives to eliminate more of that cognitive stack? So, in the interest of continuing on from next week, I'm going to open with a few questions that I really enjoy and appreciate that we're going to try and answer. What if the goal is not to design better decisions, but to make fewer of them? And I do believe that we hinted at that a little bit last week. And I when I was thinking about this episode, I was like, I feel like we talked about that. And I kept going back and looking at it, and I was like, oh, I guess we did, but we didn't all at the same time.
I would say we did, because I think ultimately, at least, again, y'all can prove me wrong, but because when we were having the conversation, I think ultimately the one of the concluding idea is how to reduce that cognitive stack by making putting those I'm trying to find the right word.
No, I know what you're saying.
Reducing that stack by by putting some automated processing in that will automatically kind of make that decision. And doing so, you are also increasing the amount of choices. Sorry, decisions, not choices. The decisions you have to be making at all time.
Right, and I guess we introduced the idea. We didn't necessarily talk about how to do that. And that's going to be kind of how this operates. What I don't want people to get confused about is I'm not teaching you how to be more productive. That's not the goal here. We're not here to talk about how we can be more productive, how we can add more responsibility while not getting, that's not the idea. The idea is to reduce that cognitive stack. And so we'll get into it. We'll get into that a lot more. How to actually make fewer decisions, not in the interest of being more productive, but in the interest of reducing that cognitive stack. What you choose to do with that after that is totally up to you. If you choose to go and add more to your plate, by all means, have fun. This is an interesting one that I thought was fascinating, is why do some people seem calm? Not because they're disciplined, but because they've already made those decisions. Kind of relates to that. We were talking about priming last week. And that's really where that question kind of fits in, right? Some people have already primed themselves to be ready for the encounter with which they are in, which means that a lot of those decisions have already been offloaded so they can function better within the environments that they are inside of.
This is going to sound macabre, but I think, I mean, we're trigger warning, but a lot of times when people have decided to, I don't know, can we say, no, we have YouTube, so let's say unalive themselves because we might get lagged.
Yeah. Like, what if people make life-threatening decisions?
Usually when they've decided, a lot of them describe that this sounds wrong, but those are the best time because they've already, once that choice is made, they have not, everything else is just water almost. They all already know the ultimate goal. I mean, that's more of an exaggerated goal because not quite.
Yeah. No. But it is exaggerated, but it is directly related to what it is that we're kind of conveying. The emotional weight that is carried when you are ideating in that way, once that decision finally gets made, yes or no, and obviously we're not advocating for, and if that you are along those lines, please, we have links in the descriptions, go use them.
If any of our indicated that is misspeaking on one of our part or not conveying one of what we're trying to say, by no means.
Yeah. No, I didn't take it that way. I just wanted to make sure that that's a very clear line in the sand. This one was really key too, and we definitely talked about this last week. I know mental exhaustion is not about effort, but about exposure. Physical exhaustion is about effort, not exposure. Just because I'm exposing myself to exercise does not mean that be tired. If I put in the effort, that's when I'm going to be tired. If I put in mental effort, sure, I'm going to be tired, but I can also I can be tired mentally just from overexposure as well. But the understanding that I'm not here to talk about productivity hacks here. We're just talking about offloading and how to design your decision making in a way that supports your cognitive stack, right? We have this really, really interesting idea, and I don't know if it's only in the West. I know it's very prevalent in America that our choices equate to our autonomy or our sense of freedom. We hear it all the time. This is America. I can do what I want. And you're like, yeah, but no. Sure, you can, but that's kind of dumb. Even big name brands have figured this out. When you go to the grocery store, how many options do you really have? Not that many. And they're all by the same people, the same companies. It's not like you have 6 competing options. I know that was one of the most interesting things. And it was harder to make a decision when I was overseas because there were so many restaurants and they were all relatively similar. They were all serving pretty much the same food. There were so many of them that there were multiples that were serving the same food. Deciding, well, do I go here? Do I go here? Do I go here? Do I go here? Do I take a train across town to go? That shit could get overwhelming real quick. And without reviews and all of that other stuff, it would have taken even longer. I remember one night, I didn't know where to go for dinner. I wasn't sure. I was like, I knew what I wanted, but there were so many places that serve fish. And I was like, well, what's the fucking closest one? Because I'm not dealing with this shit. It's over. What am I doing? When you have that much, I can speak good English today. When I have that many decisions, it stops becoming freeing, and it really just starts to weigh me down. What the fuck, man? I just wanted fish. That was it. That was all I wanted. Like traditional fucking fish dish from Portugal. Where am I going to go? What is going to be the best option? I think I actually, if I'm not mistaken, got on the metro and rode it across town to go to one place, but they had closed down. They were no longer there or whatever, something had happened. And then I ended up going back to right around I was like, well, fuck it. I'm not just going to go
It was a long night. Not that it was, it wasn't bad. It's not like I had something to do. But if I had something to do, it was my normal day-to-day activities, my head would have fucking exploded. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It's really a very interesting paradox that we think that having more choices is going to lead to more freedom, but really when our choices aren't weighing us down,
Yeah.
we actually end up having more freedom because again, it's just constantly draining because we're just adding decisions to that stack. And again, in the West, not having those balancing, I don't remember what the fuck I call them now, cognitive balancers of finding your peace. It's really difficult. And so if you're already stretched to capacity and you just keep adding on decisions and adding on decisions, then all of these decisions just end up becoming a burden. And you're like, well, fuck this, man. I don't care. It doesn't matter anymore because I just want the decision to go away. I don't want to figure out what's for dinner. I don't want to figure out what I'm going to do in the morning. I don't want to figure out what's for fucking breakfast. Shit, I stopped eating breakfast a long time ago. That's one less decision out the window. A long time ago, man. I haven't occasionally, but it's not my jam. And so most of our decisions that we make are not, they're not required to keep us alive. They're not like biological needs. I don't need to decide what's for dinner in order to stay alive, but I do need to have dinner in order to stay alive. Does that make sense?
I guess I see it, yes.
The choices that we have are not necessary for us. And so, what if we spent some time thinking about them prior and in advance to be able to design those decisions that are not necessary out of the way and gone? That way, I am freed up with a little bit of time. Now, yes, this may take a little bit of time, a little bit of extra time, but it will save infinitely more time. This is the idea of like a prep, just because we're talking about food so much. And I don't know why I'm not hungry. I already ate today, but meal prep knocks out one decision that had to be made for the week. You already have the food. Not only do you have it decided what you're going to do or what you're going to eat, but you also have already made it. So it's just boom, there it is, go. But that's geared more towards productivity. Now, it does eliminate that cognitive stack, but because it's geared towards productivity, all you really did was add more shit to the stack in place, which is not what we're sitting here advocating for. That would not be. This is kind of that idea between deciding versus designing. I've decided to go ahead and start meal prepping so that I can be more productive. Okay, well, I've designed my life in such a way that I don't need to make that decision anymore because it's already built in. I can just move right on to the next thing. Whether I have to cook it or not, whether I know for a fact that I don't have to decide what it is that I'm going to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We'll get that. I know we're still a little abstract, but I'm going to move to more concrete terms hopefully pretty soon. If we look at it, the decisions that work, sorry, not the decisions, the systems that work best require fewer and fewer decisions. What is a system, Carlos, that requires more decisions than any one entity should ever be responsible for? Let me rephrase that. I don't like the way that I said that. Would you call our government systems efficient?
No.
Why?
where do you want to begin?
No. There's a very, very there's a very clear reason that's related to what we're talking about right now, and that's more what I'm
okay. I think I think this is the answer you're looking for. I think it just does not work because there's too many right. I don't know if right tape is a word, but I don't know if there's too many steps to get one just a minute thing achieved, and there's just also too many people that you have to convince to agree on at least 75% of one thing, and that does not occur at least in modern time how it's set up.
right. Too many decisions have to be made by too many people. And it's all the same decision, but everybody has to agree on the same decision. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad all the time, because there are certain times where that is required. You have to have input from other, if not, things can get a little bit too dicey when you're talking about governments. However,
Government ages for the oligarchy and authoritarian government.
right. So that's obviously, but those systems are highly inefficient when it comes to productivity, when it comes to figuring things out, because it takes sustained periods of time. All you have to do is look at the past few government shutdowns. We've had more and more. Why? Because people disagree and they refuse to make a decision that is in the benefit of the people. They only want to make decisions in the benefit of themselves. That's a major fucking problem. What's at the root of it? Those decisions. However, if you're it's just like, I think about trying to fire somebody from a government entity. My God, dude. Just to try and get rid of somebody, you got to put them you have to give them this many attempts. You've got to give them some supports to try and get better. Short of them doing.
Don't think so.
Well, yeah. Well, let me rephrase that. In my government job, you 100% have to. You can't just go straight from 0 to fire, short of something for incompetence. So you can be horrible at your job. I have to teach you how to do it first, right? I have to then put you on some sort of disciplinary whatever. Then you've got to go through a hearing. There's multiple steps before you can just, obviously, if you're fucking convicted of touching kids, that's a big no-go. They don't really, you don't really need anything. There's no more proof necessary. But those are very extreme cases, and that's not always the case. But in a private organization, if you're incompetent, day one, the second that they walk in, see ya. It's very efficient. It reduced the overhead of that business instantaneously. And and the same goes for our cognition. The more decisions that I have to make, right? The more. There's a book called I forget what it is called. It's about parenting. I think that's the one. I think it's the book Nudge, but I could be wrong about that. They called it sludge, just so that it rhymes. The more shit that you have to go through, the more sludge you have to go through, the harder it becomes to make those decisions, the more inefficient a system runs. It's the same thing with your cognitive processes. The more decisions that you have to make, the more inefficient it is going to become, especially without anything to go ahead and balance it out on the other side. By having default decisions, it protects our energy. I used that example last week. We talked about having Monday is this night, Tuesday is this night, Wednesday is this night, Thursday is this night. By having that down, simple. It reduces that need for decision. I've also talked about like my morning routine. It looks exactly the same every single day. It doesn't change, doesn't shift. Because if I don't, that adds to the decision stack, right? I know what I need to do in the morning. I need to get ready for work. I need to get my mind right for the day. And I need to be physically okay. So whatever that looks like, caffeine, taking care of sinuses, all that stuff. Those things, I don't decide that on a day-to-day basis. I don't wake up and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I'll do that today. Nope. I just wake up and bam, it's done. Within an hour, I'm good to go. That is entirely by design. It was built through discipline and habit. But I spent time thinking, these are the most important things that I need to do. This is what I'm going to set up first thing in the morning to make that happen. Did it take a long time? I had to first figure it out, what I needed, right? So that took a little bit of time. But the actual setup, not really. And then it becomes easier because I'm sitting there and I can work within it. I used to wake up and exercise every single morning, like heavy fucking exercise at like 3:45 in the morning. And not that I am opposed to that, but I started doing classes at night. So that conflicted with 3:45 in the morning. If I'm exercising at 7 o'clock at night, the system, the design just had to shift a little bit. And so now I handle stretching and recovery in the morning, lighter stuff, and I do workouts at night. And not a big deal, but because the system was designed in such a way, all I'm doing is it's like dragging and dropping bits and pieces. Okay, well, I know that this is what exercise looks like. This is what stretching looks like. This goes in the morning time. This goes here. I know that I'm going to work here. This is what I need to do for work. So this is going to go beforehand. So move this piece here, this piece here. That is what I'm talking about by designing your day in such a way that it reduces the decisions that need to be made, breaking them down into smaller chunks. So I'll just give simple example. Morning, shower, teeth, sinuses, clothes, whatever. I wear the same thing. Not every day. I have outfits for every day of the week, and I just wear them on fucking repeat. I don't give a fuck. I do laundry once a week. It's super easy. I don't have to be like, oh, well, I gotta do laundry today. No, it's not fucking Sunday, so I'm not gonna do laundry. No, it's not that time, so that's not going to happen. It frees up so much energy and time that when anything starts to shift, it's super easy because it's just drag and drop right into the next. Not a big deal. We can handle that. These kinds of things become reusable over and over and over again. And ideally, it is my hope that all who are listening, their mental models keep evolving. Mine sure as fuck have. Mine evolve constantly, sometimes weekly these days. That's how quickly things like AI have really kind of allowed me to upgrade those mental models. It used to be monthly, bi-monthly, depending on how many books I could read in that month. Whatever, that's irrelevant. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole. But when your mental models are updating that quickly, you need that drag and drop system to be able to put here and here. And I would venture out to say that a lot of us don't have those cognitive models already in play. I watch a lot of people around me that are like, I wonder what I'm going to do today. I'm like, I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing today. Exactly. And I don't mean every minute of every single day is scheduled. That's not what I'm saying. I don't use a schedule. I don't have a calendar. Fuck calendars. I really hate calendars. I'm not good with them. To me, they're a fucking, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just a waste of time. Not because I think the calendar itself is a waste of time, but because I am one of those people that have an obscene memory. So I know exactly what I have to do on any given day of the week. It's not that big of a deal. The only time I use a calendar is when my system needs a reminder that I have something that is entering the system that isn't originally planned. And it's really just appointments that are coming up that I'm not thinking about. But things like meetings, I know I got that meeting on Tuesday at this time. I got that meeting on Wednesday at this time. It's not, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how I do it. I really don't. Don't be like, unless you have that kind of like, listen, crazy ass calendar, man. you, that's a mental model that is specific to my weird fucking neurodivergent brain. Yeah. Right. So I guess we've kind of talked about a little bit about these things, a little bit of more concrete things. We talked about morning routines and making those high level. I need to bathe myself, whatever, prepare myself for the day so that I look presentable, whatever that goes in. I don't know what goes into that for you. For some people, that's skincare. For some people, that's, I don't know, fucking teeth whitening. For some people, that's nasal irrigation. I don't fucking know. I got no idea, man. I don't know what other people do in the morning. I only know what I do. But insert whatever. I know that I have to move my body because if I don't, it's just going to be bad. I'm going to be tight. I'm going to be stiff. I don't even walk around like this. I'm just going to be fucking angry all day. Who needs that? Not me. I can't live that. Right. I know I need to drink caffeine. I know I need to get my mind right. So I read first thing in the morning every single day. Right. So those are the things that go in no matter what. And I have them broken down into time chunks to where I've got it down to, I can do it in about an hour and a half. 8, 5, 6. Yeah, it's about an hour. Yeah. And that's with time to spare. So putting in those concrete actions for you, and then you have this nice little, almost think about it like trying to think about what it would be like what's a good, I don't want to say a code block because that doesn't make any sense. And I don't want to say a design block because again, that's very specific, but something that everybody is familiar with, almost like a recipe. If I have a recipe card that just sits, I don't know, if I have it sitting on a mirror or sitting on the wall and I can just go look, oh, morning routine. I need to take care of myself. I need to move. I need to read. Again, decisions are out of the question. I don't need to decide diddly squat because the decision's been made. All I have to do is go follow it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other ones that I want. I mean, we definitely talked about food and clothing, so I don't want to hit on that one anymore. Food is easy. Just have a way. Don't go out to eat every fucking night. Don't have the nights of the week that you go out unless it's a special occasion. And that I don't know, that could be whatever you define as a special.
Or you can do the other, or go to the same meal every single time. The actor itself. So if you have the funds.
Yeah, sure, anything. I'm not disputing that. That could definitely work. You go to the same place, you get the same thing, or You have the dish that you get Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Same thing with clothing. Again, I have 5 outfits that I wear for work. It's one of those 5. I don't mix and match. I don't decide to look cute on me today. I don't give a fuck. It's just boom, boom, we're gone. And it's really which one is easiest for me to grab out of my dresser. If I can make it even easier, I would, believe me. But that's about as simple. Digital environments are really, really hard. However, I was talking with somebody last night at Kung Fu, actually, and then like, yeah, my kid spends 3 or 4 hours on Instagram. It's like, at a time.
Oh, I was like,
At a time.
Throughout the day, I was going to say, that's not bad.
I'm going to push back on that, but that's, but at a time?
Time, yes. But like 3 hours in a 24-hour cycle, because to be like honest,
I hear you. I get it. I got you.
I go on like study breaks, so I'll do a 20-minute here, 30-minute here. Or if I'm eating lunch, I might be like scrolling while I'm eating. So slowly, by the end of the day, 3 hours
builds up. I hear you. I get it.
At a time, that's different though.
Yeah, no. It just sits there straight for 3-4 hours, and you're just like, designing those limits, though, putting constraints in place. And I'm not trying to tell you to be unreasonable. No, don't be like, oh, well, I'm limiting myself to 5 minutes every time I open it. I can do that, but that's because I don't give a fuck. 5-10 minutes is okay. I mean, you say 3 hours is not a lot. I think 30 minutes on social media a day is a lot. But that's just me. I didn't grow up with fucking social media.
Well, unless like you got YouTube and all these other stuff, but like Instagram, in terms of like what the masses would define as social media, is TikTok, I don't have Twitter, Facebook, all these other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I only have Instagram. So to me, that's on like 3 hours throughout the day on that one thing. Doesn't seem like a lot. Like an hour or one on Instagram, 2 hours on TikTok, and all these other different, that adds up. But again, I'm in a different case than most people.
No, I hear you. And I will tell you that digital environments are much more difficult. I don't know if you remember, a while back, I was trying to develop a widget for analyzing habits in digital spaces. And I think I'll get there again, and I'll definitely come back to it. I don't think that right now is the right way or the right means, but I'll definitely get there. It was very hard because, okay, you spend 30 minutes or 45 minutes on a productivity website. I don't know what that is. You spend 45 minutes doing focused work, whatever that looks like. Whether you're on Word, Excel, you're on some company specific platform. And then, okay, your productivity then creeps into maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. Well, technically you just did a good thing. But cognitively, you didn't just do a good thing because you just worked for straight 4 hours. However, some people can do that and it doesn't take a toll on them. Some, it's like, oh, the world is over. They won't make it. And then they'll be super stressed out and, oh my God, the world is ending. So then how then do you throw in, well, they did that and then they went and they spent 15 minutes on social media and then went right back to work. Okay, well, technically, I don't know that that's wrong. You're kind of following Pomodoro techniques, which are a verified strategy that works. So by all intents and purposes, you're following the right thing on digital spaces. But then what if you spend 50 minutes on work and then 10 minutes on some adult website? Is that still a yeah, I know what you're saying, but these are the questions that we have to ask. I have a buddy who I know that's how he would operate. He'd be like, I'd work for 45 minutes and then I'd go watch fucking porn for 15. And you're like, huh, all right. Now, but that it gets very difficult trying to manage that in digital environments. And I personally, I look forward to addressing that moving forward. But as long as you can reduce the decisions that you are making inside of those environments, it should be okay. Ideally, we got really off tangent with the 3-4 hours of social media. But the goal that I want to reiterate is coming back to decisions. Thinking about things like where you make decisions repeatedly and can help, especially in things like we looked at it in terms of morning routine. We looked at it in terms of food. Digital environments are trickier, but you still make the same decisions over and over again in places. There's easier ways to automate workflows that you do, but not always necessarily what you do inside of digital environments. And I guess that's where we were really getting at, because workflows are one thing and workflows are easy to go ahead and automate, but making decisions within digital spaces is what I was alluding to in those statements. The other things that you want to be careful of are decisions that never get resolved. Because if you don't, the cool thing about decisions is once you make them, so you add that to the stack, right? Once you make them, they're gone and you drop, this comes up. If we have a lot of our work is open-ended. I know the work that I do on a day-to-day basis is constantly open. It just stays open.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all unresolved decisions. So they stay on top of the stack. And especially as you get into more intellectual work, and I don't mean smart people, I'm just saying where you have to use a lot of your brain to think about your decisions don't get resolved. And so it just remains with added stress. So how do you close the door on those and just say, no, not right now? Topic for another time, I'm sure. But we really want to understand and recognize where those decisions get repeated so that we can design our lives in a way that we don't have to think about them. We go, no, we're good, and walk away.
Yeah.
I understand that this is worrisome because, again, a lot of us want choice. We want freedom. We want control. Call it what it is, because we think that control is autonomy. But I very rarely met people that I would consider, and we all know them, they're control freaks, whatever. They want their hand in everybody's fucking cookie jar. We have a name for them. What's the name, Carlos?
Sociopaths.
Karen! They want their hand in absolutely fucking everything. And they're the very extreme example of what happens when you're not able to choose. That is a very intentional way of becoming fearful of losing optionality, because having options, having that control is a way of alleviating the fear of not knowing what is going to actually come. It's a way of providing safety and comfort, not freedom, which is what most of us are technically looking for. We want to be free. I just don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to deal with it. Let it fucking not affect me anymore.
Yeah.
But what we don't understand is that by reducing the amount of options that we have, we end up being more free than anything else. Most of I used the example of special forces last time. when they are executing missions, they have options, but they have reduced them down to a very, very specific number. And when shit hits the fan and shit goes wrong, they have a very limited number of options to take in order to, it's either, well, you get the fuck out of there or you alter the plan and keep going forward. Yeah, there are multiple different decisions that have to be made then after that. But once you can make the first one, then all the ones subsequently downhill become that much easier to make. Have you ever met somebody paralyzed by a decision? Holy shit, dude. It's like, just fucking make up your mind. Make up one. And then the second that you make up one, you're like, bam, I got this. Doom, I got this. Perfect, I can do this. It is so freeing to be able to make those decisions and to be able to go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Options is not what makes us free. Doing what we are doing, what gives us positive affect in this lifetime, is what makes us free. And I use the term positive affects because I don't say doing what makes us feel good. Positive affect, we started all of this whole journey that we've come down to. Personalization, personalized mental wellness. Whatever it is that works for you, go ahead and do it. That directly correlates with what I mean by positive affect, not good feelings, not good vibes, positive affect. And we know that that's the case when we take an action and we feel good about ourselves, not feel good inside of ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's a weird fucking concept.
It's a odd phrasing, but I understand.
Positive affect. Oh, right. Freedom comes from positive affect. When I know what I want and when I know what makes me feel good about my life and I continuously take action towards that, and my decisions are not clouded by, but I could go do this over here, or I could go do this over here. It's done and it's over with. Some of the people who I saw that are successful know exactly what they want to do. They're not burdened with multiple decisions of, I kind of want to do this, and I kind of want to do this. Well, have you ever tried doing it? And if the answer is no, maybe you need to go do some things. Because you're going to start eliminating things real quick, and you're going to start eliminating those options really, really quick. Reducing that cognitive stack. And then the path forward is going to be so fucking clear. All you got to do is run towards it. You're going to trip, you're going to fall, you're whatever. But this is what having fewer decisions allows you to do. So reducing it, like I said, I understand that it's scary because we don't want to give up that control. We don't want to give up this false sense of identity that we hold on to. We're like, but basketball is a part of me, but I'm 5 feet and I can't, and I'm 400 pounds, so I'm not going to be able to run down the court. You're probably not going to play fucking basketball. Let's eliminate that option. But if you think it's still an option for you, go for it, right? I don't know, man. It's problematic when our identity gets involved because then we think it's a part of us and then we hold on to it. And when we start holding on to it, then it gets harder to let go of, and it gets harder to take away and to strip away because we feel like we're losing a part of us. But that's not it. We are gaining that much more because we're gaining an understanding of what positive affect actually does for us. So I think we've kind of already done this, but I'm gonna spell it out very concretely. This is where that agency comes in, right? Decide it once. Figure it out. Take control. If you have a decision that is constantly being repeated, you're constantly analyzing it. Decide it once. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. It's not worth your time and effort. Reduce that load, reduce that stack, and just go with it, right? If you're feeling frisky one day and you want to change it, that's okay. That's a decision you're allowed to make. But in the interest of reducing that cognitive stack overall right now, just let it go. All right. Don't be afraid of making commitments, especially to your decisions. A commitment is hard for us.
Yeah.
But committing to decisions is freeing. It is life-changing. How many times we've talked about it? I committed to doing this stuff a long time ago. I think about, well, should I be doing something different? And every single time I'm like, no. If I had to start over from square one tomorrow, I would not be doing anything differently. It would still be centered around the same things because these are the things that are unique to me, that I understand on a weird level, like weird. I mean, it is. I'm not disputing it. And that clarity resolves so much anxiety. So much.
Actually,
But we have to have.
I said, I agree with that. Like, I agree with that.
So all of this stuff is, everything that we've been talking about is directly related, but we have to take that responsibility. We have to show up and we have to say, this is the decision that I'm making and I'm sticking to it. If you second guess that decision, it wasn't the right decision. And it's back to the drawing board.
I disagree with that.
Okay. I'm all right with that. You can, but we're gonna come to fisticuffs over it. No. What's up? I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't thoughts about a decision necessarily. It wasn't like meant to be, or it wasn't the right decision to have met. Like, it's just been you've come at an impasse. And if it's something, because I think it's one thing for it to be, it's when I hear it's meant to be, or it's not it's something just have to work at things. Something there is a certain amount of work that comes with doing with whatever choice that you make. So it might just be you're not putting the right work, or so it's not necessarily having second thoughts is equating to it not meant to be, or that choice not working out the first time is equating to that, if that makes sense.
I hear exactly what you're saying. You're saying that there's always going to be effort that comes following any decisions, and maybe you're not willing to put forth the effort. Okay, then I'm going to venture out to say that it wasn't what you wanted in the first place, and you made the wrong decision.
I'll disagree.
That's okay. I will tell you, Carlos, you and I, you know how much I work constantly. And I'm going to tell you, not once have I ever second guessed the decision to do what I've been doing. The thought has crossed my mind. I've been like, is this really what I should be? And I'm telling you, the second that thought comes up, it's, nope, this is exactly what I am. So even if nothing ever comes of any of it, even if all words fall on deaf ears, even if I die fucking broke, penniless, and a fucking hobo, I know that this is exactly what I am supposed to be doing in this moment in time. And that's why I say, if you second guess yourself and you're like, oh, maybe I'm right, that's the only time it's natural to second guess yourself. I will 100% agree with you on that one. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. But if you second guess yourself and so you're like, yeah, this probably isn't right, that's when I'm saying it's probably not the right thing for you to be doing. Does that make more sense? Or are we still in?
No, it makes sense, but isn't that when you should
cahoots
be
with Puss in Boots? I like that got you to stop.
I'm sorry. That one, it was just too perfect.
The point, because I think we've touched base on this quite a few times, but isn't that when the reflection and analysis comes in? Because for you, it might be like the moment you second guess yourself, you're like, nope, yes, you probably like you are already there, but for some people, they may not be there, and isn't there something second guessing that you do that reflection that you go, you know what? Yes, I am doing the right thing. If it's not that, I don't want to say that, like, because it's an instant for you. Maybe, do you see where I'm trying to go with that?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're talking. I'm doing reflection on this, and I'm saying yes. Second guessing is natural. It is normal. It is 100% normal to be like, is this what I am supposed to be doing? And what I'm saying, if I've asked myself that question and the answer is not a resounding 100% yes, this is what I should be doing, then it's not what's meant for you. If you can answer honestly, yes, this is exactly what I am supposed to be doing, you have made the right decision. Not right decision. No, you have made the decision that is most aligned with who you are as a human being. If you answer that question with, nah, I don't think this is right for me, then the road that you started walking down wasn't the right path for you in the first place. Do you know how many times I've gotten burned out from this? So many. It's disgusting. I'll never forget, man, after undergrad. So when I was finishing undergrad, I went back to undergrad really late. Okay. I was working 2 jobs. I was the sole responsibility factor for my kid, and he was having one hellacious time with everything. And I still had to do school on top of it. So I was, again, I think I mentioned this before, I was out the door at 7. And I was coming home sometimes at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Every day, 7 days a week. I slept for 2 fucking weeks when I graduated. And not once did I ever think, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. It might have been, was this the right, if I thought, was this the right path? I might have thought that, but then again, instantaneously, the thought afterwards was, no, you're doing exactly what the fuck you need to be doing. Like I said, even if I die broke, penniless, and people laugh, people can laugh all they fucking want, dude. All they want. What can I tell you? All I can tell you is this is the cumulative experience of every insane, fucked up, twisted fucking thing that has ever occurred in this fucking lifetime. I don't really have anything else to offer other than that. Yeah, sure, I have some skills that I can trade for monetary success, sure, but I have no experience with most things. So what is the most honest thing that I can do with the remaining time that I have? Did I spend it doing what it was that I thought was right and in the best interest of other people? Because it's not about me. I don't give a fuck about me anymore. I should have died at 21. Wow, technically probably 18. When I get technical, probably like 15. But I'm medically.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Like
Wild disagree. No.
While you are saying what you're saying about the answer, do not disagree with me because I'm right. The answer is no.
Okay. If you say so. Right. Okay. All right. So
here's what I will do. I will agree with you with the caveat of, you are right. I should not have. By all understanding of human logic, I should have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so that's where I will agree.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, which is okay. And so then by that definition, this is the only thing that makes sense given those life experiences. And so again, but that decision, making that decision, has been the most freeing thing ever. I have more energy. I have more time. I have more focus. I have more clarity. I don't have to decide shit. I don't have to sit there and think of, oh, what am I going to do with my career? I have no fucking idea. I'm just going to keep doing cool shit. I'm going to keep building shit. I'm going to keep whatever. But those decisions alone have freed me up to do all of the things that I've always wanted to do. Always. I always wanted to make music, and I was always so consumed with anxiety to do so. So consumed. I couldn't do it. That's what stopped me from playing drums. Not because I couldn't play, but because I just couldn't stop my head from thinking. And not about drumming. I wasn't self-conscious about the playing of it. I didn't give a fuck about that. But I couldn't quiet my mind down enough to be able to focus, to be able to practice enough, to be able to do those things. That shit's crazy. So that is the real life true story of how I took agency and made those decisions to reduce those cognitive and yeah, that was, we got deep down the rabbit hole. But that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But to that end, because we are going quite a little bit longer than usual, which is fine. I wasn't about to stop in the middle of that discussion, because that was, it was challenging. That's good. Challenge is always wonderful and always welcome. So when it comes to designing the systems, what you want to think about, what decision drains you every single day? What is one that you just want to be done with? I'm sure that we all have one. It doesn't matter. Do I want to lay in bed for 5 more minutes? Do I not want to? That can be fucking exhausting. Just make a decision. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? Lay in bed for 5 minutes or get up. If that's what you want, by all means, go for it. I'm not sitting here telling you, you have to just get out of bed. In a perfect world, yeah, you would. The world's not perfect. It's okay. Do whichever you like. But find that decision that drains you and stop making it, because it's going to help in the long run anyway. Where could one clear default choice replace it repeated choice? That's a big one. Again, defaults can be changed. You can manage them. You can replace defaults, but just having a default frees you up to go ahead and eliminate as needed. What decision do you just want to stop making? What kind of toilet paper to use? I don't give a fuck. Just give me one that doesn't burn my asshole. No, so we're not talking about action yet. We are talking about the design, because the design comes before the action. Figuring it out and it's effectively planning. Effective planning comes before the action. We'll get there. Don't worry. We equate this exhaustion that we have with weakness. We hear it all the time. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. Fuck off, you goddamn twatsicle. It's not that you're weak, right? It's not that you're tired because you're weak. It is literally just because there's way too much going on. there is far too many demands being placed, and your nervous system just has not been trained effectively to handle those things. Give yourself a break. It'll all be okay. Provided you can give yourself a fucking break.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Carlos and I greatly appreciate it. Comment something that resonated with you today. We are here for support, feedback, or anything else that you want to share. Join us on the Kindred app, a perfect space to keep unpacking what came up during the episode. Get live, peer-to-peer support from people with shared experiences. Kindred is built for those moments that no one else sees.
Take this one step deeper by reviewing today's reflection prompt in the show notes. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and tune in next week for a new episode. Until next time, choose joy.